from the head downwards, tell us what you got.
Broken nose, both elbows broken, broken ribs, then broken hip, both broken femur, right tib and fib, and then multiple breaks in my feet. I think that's... And I've got thousands of microfractures in my spine all the time.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Guess what? It's the Mixed Martial Arts Podcast, and you're listening to Mick Tully. We're at the Martial Arts Warriors Assemble Awards, and I'm with the one and only Mr. Robbie Hirst. How you doing, Robbie?
Hi there, guys. I'm all right. Thank you.
And we're grabbing this in between awards and stuff, so it might be a bit shorter than usual, but this guy is just an inspiration, and what we'll do is we're just going to get started straight away. What is it that you're training first?
Training TaeKwonDo. That's my base. Yeah.
The kicking art.
That's it.
And that's what. Right, now, you're a little bit different to most martial artists I've met. Can you just give us a little bit of background on why?
Well, I've got a genetic condition called osteogenesis imperfecta, also known as brittle bones. So, over the years, I've had 84 broken bones.
84 broken bones at the age of 18?
Yeah, that's it.
Right, and when was the first broken bone then?
First broken bone was at 3 weeks old when my dad sat me up to burp as a baby and pop went my femur.
Your dad broke your leg while he was getting you to burp?
Yeah, that's it.
So what was it like, early on in life then?
It was hard because obviously you don't kind of know what's going on, but over the years you get to kind of understand it all and just get on with it as best you can, really.
Right, and did you have any limitations in doing sport as a kid at school?
Only thing my parents said was no full contact sports. That's why TaeKwonDo was brilliant for me, because being semi-contact sparring, it's perfect.
Yeah. Now I'm going to have to go straight in on this one. Do you do the TaeKwonDo that does the destructions as well as the patterns and the sparring?
Yes, so we do everything.
Now I'm going to ask a very, very silly question here. How do you do the destructions?
For me, it's just think of the moves and techniques that would be most suited, so not all these flashy destructions, but more the basic, maybe your front snap kick or anything like that. So keep it simple and safe.
And what grade are you now?
I am 2nd degree black belt currently, but in 6 months' time I intend to take my 3rd degree.
Wow. Now that is impressive, guys. At home who are listening to this, you know, when you start talking about having a broken nail,
that's
right?
It.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a bit of man flu. Oh, the wife's moaning at me. You don't want to go training. What's the worst? What's the worst shape you've ever been in where you've still gone training?
Well, it was actually March 2008. I was 8 years old and I was running out of school, fell over and broke my femur. So Dad came running up to help me, and the first thing I said was, tell Master Olpin and Miss Dimmery that I'm not going to be at class tonight. And 10 days later I was out of hospital, out of theatre, and straight back in class doing all the arm movements because I couldn't do anything with my legs.
Wow, that is amazing, man. And have you had many breaks like through the training, or is it all just general day-to-day life?
Most of them are day-to-day. Actual training-wise, I've only had 2 major breaks. The other ones have just been someone's accidentally landed on my foot or something like that. But only 2 major breaks.
And if you don't mind, we just as I'm fascinated. Yeah, how painful is the break, or can you get used to like breaking bones?
The pain's just the same as anyone else, but my pain threshold is much higher, so I will just kind of get on with it. Like, I've been in class before, someone's elbowed my arm rather than the pad. I put the pad down, walked into the office, phoned my dad to come take me home and off to hospital. So you can't fall on the floor crying about it when you're up to number 84.
Yeah. At what point, pardon my French for saying this, but do you reckon you'll get pissed off by the time you've broken 100?
Probably. That'll be the tipping point, probably.
That'll be the tipping point. I'm just like blown away, to tell you the truth. I am. I find inspiration all over the place. But just speaking to you now, it just freaks me out. And we're going to dial it back a little bit. How did you get in? Why did you pick martial arts though? Because it's not exactly the sort of thing a guy with brittle bones should be doing, right?
No, well, back about 30 years ago, my dad used to do kickboxing. He got to brown belt, so he's always enjoyed the martial arts. But he also went to school with my instructor, so they've been in contact. And then I went to go watch, and I thought I could become a Power Ranger one day. So that was my main inspiration for starting the martial arts.
I'll tell you something, the Power Rangers, I've got a really, really dear friend of mine. He's going to be quite upset when I mention his name, Liam Richards. Like Liam Richards, he was the guy who was on Britain's Got Talent. Do you remember
yes,
that?
I remember that.
Yeah. And when I asked him why'd you get into it, and it was the same thing. He wanted to be the Blue Ranger. It was bizarre. And so you wanted to be a Power Ranger?
That was it. That was my original process to start in martial arts.
Wow. So where do you see martial arts taking you now then?
One day I want to have my own school, hopefully, and kind of pass my knowledge on to the next martial art generation.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm already teaching about 5 hours a week in my current school.
Wow.
So.
Unbelievable. Outside of martial arts, what are you interested in?
Well, because of the brittle bones and because of the martial arts, I've taken up sports science at college, so I want to take that on to possibly physiotherapy or something like that.
Because what can you do to work around this?
There's not much, but I do have treatment at the hospital, and it's kind of just get on with it and be careful, really. Yeah,
well, we were talking earlier before we got the podcast going. And have you ever seen the movie Unbreakable?
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Glass, right?
That's it.
And it's just, as I said, I know I'm banging on about this, but has there ever been just a temptation just to wrap yourself up in a duvet and go, do you know what? I just don't need the pain.
Multiple times you feel like that, but you've got to laugh and joke of it. And actually, Mr. Kevin Mills in
Legend
Kempo Karate, he broke my elbow. So the next time I saw him, I went up to him with bubble wrap around my arms.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, Kevin, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you what, he's a legitimate dude.
Yes.
He's a legitimate badass. Yeah, I'm just as we're talking now, I'm just trying to I'm thinking about this. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I'd stay with martial arts, Me personally, I'm not on about you. I'm on about me as a person. I'd be looking at something else. I'd just be like, I don't know if I could handle this. Yeah, most people think like that, but once you've been doing something for 13 years, you just don't want to stop. You want to keep pushing yourself. That's it. Do you ever feel the need, if you're teaching and say maybe in a kids class, and the whole I'm tired, my legs hurt, and all of that, and do you ever just feel like just turn around and say, listen, I'll show you what real pain's all about? You ever have that? Sometimes I have, but I think the kids also draw inspiration from me, seeing me at the front of the class with a cast on my leg, still stood there teaching them. It's kind of, they see that you can do it whatever the situation. Now, I have literally a bit from arthritis and deaf in one ear and just being overweight and being bald and old nowadays. I don't really have any disabilities. But, when somebody shakes your hand really, really, really tightly, yeah. For you, I'm not saying, that you are Mr. Glass, but do you ever feel the need to just go, listen, man, what are you doing? Do you get that? Sometimes meeting new people when they have no idea what's going on, but most of the time, it's been okay so far. Really? Well, do you know what? Next time it happens, make their chin into a brittle chin. That's it. I had a guy just yesterday shake my hand, and I was like, I need to use that hand again. So we talked about the shaking of the hands, right? Yeah. What about if someone tries to hug you too much? Because a lot of people in martial arts like to give you too much of a hug now and then. Yeah, which is nice. Yeah. But maybe not so practical for you, right? No, it can be a bit of an art, especially when you've got maybe a broken rib or something, and those ones can't be casted and plastered up, but it's kind of just giving people a little hint in the right direction. As and when needed. Yeah, just watch me. So what would you say is the worst, most painful break then? I think it would be taking it back to 2008 again when I broke my femur, because it snapped, it twisted and it slid. So I had to be in hospital for 2 weeks, up in traction, having my
leg held in place, to have 2 rods put down the centre of the bone.
Well, my sister, she fell down 3 steps, literally, but she had a spiral fracture.
Yep.
And apparently, from what the doctor said, because at one point they were going to amputate her foot because they said that there would be more mobility with a prosthetic foot than with trying to rebuild because it wasn't her ankle, it was actually the bottom of her leg. So that would be the femur, right? The bottom?
No, the femur's...
The femur's the big one, right?
Yeah, femur's the big one.
And it's the tip and the fib, isn't
That's it. They're
right.
broken them as well.
On both legs?
Just the right at the moment.
Left leg, is that intact?
Again, broken the left femur, but left tib and fib at the moment have been all good.
Yeah, I tell you what, I feel like the Lethal Weapon movie where Mel Gibson's showing off, right? Because I've got broken fingers, broken nose, brain damage, so that's why I'm deaf. So I'm going to see if you can. We're going to play injury top trumps, right? And I think that you might have a better hand. Well, I don't know. It looks broken. Boom, boom, I'll tell you what. God, I'm here all week. Try the veal. No, I think you've got a better hand than me.
Yeah.
So from the head downwards, tell us what you got.
So, what, broken?
Broken.
Yeah. So started broken nose, both elbows broken, broken ribs, then broken hip. Both broken femur, right tib and fib, and then multiple breaks in my feet. I think that's...
Wow.
And I've got thousands of microfractures in my spine all the time.
Jeez. Yeah, that's one thing I was going to say. So how will that affect your mobility later on in life?
It can, especially with getting much older, with osteoporosis coming in as well, then things can get much worse. But mobility from like my gran, who's also got the condition, she seems to be okay, but she's broken her hip recently, and obviously it's been much worse than
How old is she?
She's 72 now.
Yeah, you see, that's a big break at that age. Wow. Jeez, you beat me. Which bones have you broken the most?
Oh, okay, so majority of the breaks that I've had have been added up from hands and feet. So they can be as simple as just walking down the road and my foot will just go snap. I've had that in the middle of teaching a class. It was in the summer, out on the school field, just walking along with the 5 to 7 year olds, and the next thing I know, I'm stumbling because I've broken my foot, and then that caused an operation to have pins put in.
Wow.
So yeah, I had a long period of time where it was have a broken foot, come out of cast, a couple of weeks later it'd be broken again.
Wow. Breaks are like buses, man. You wait for ages and then 3 all arrive at once.
That's it, definitely.
Damn. Well, I was going to say actually earlier when you were telling me about the brittle bones and then also the indomitable spirit, which you obviously do have. I'll give you that, right? I was thinking to myself, this guy would be a perfect candidate for the super soldier serum that we're now developing to fight Korea. No, not Korea. Sorry, Koreans, if you think. No, but the old Captain America, right? But now when you mention it about all the metal that's going in there, you ever felt, just say, throw a coating of adamantium on there as well for me?
Oh,
turn me into the Wolverine.
Wolverine would be great, just to be able to self-repair instantly.
Yeah, the regeneration powers are pretty good, got it?
Yeah.
Can I jump in and ask you a question here?
Yeah. I'm handing you over to Ant.
Okay. So, like Mick knows this because I've trained with him a lot, and training with someone a lot doesn't necessarily mean you get very good. But like I have this general thing about I'm too good looking to fight, and whenever we've done sparring or whatever, I really just don't like getting hit. But at the end of the day, like I know that I can, maybe a bit of an ache, but I'll walk away with it. And I just don't think that I would be able to, if I knew that I was going to, there's a high chance I was going to break something, I wouldn't do it. Like, for example, I will not do, I was invited to do that cheese roll, where they chase the cheese down. Loads of people break things there. Didn't want to do it because I was like, that's just stupid. And so if I had your condition, like I would not do martial arts. So you must go into this when you go, whether you're teaching or you're training in, and going, like somewhere in the back of your mind, there's a high percentage chance that I'm going to break something today.
Yeah, every training session you kind of got that thought at the back of your head, but it's a funny thing, like sparring is one of my favourite things to do. It's just put your kit on, have a good scrap. That it might have the highest risk, but it's the best fun for me. It's like,
wow,
I don't mind that risk. It's you just get on with it.
Obviously, martial arts, there's a lot of punches and blows to the head, and your head is made of your skull, and your skull is a bone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, have you ever fractured that?
From the neck up, apart from my nose, I've not actually had any fractures that I've known of, let's say that, because not every break I get checked out nowadays. It's kind of, yeah, I think that's broke, just deal
walk
with
it
it.
off.
Wow. Oh, to have a laissez-faire attitude to injuries. Jesus, I'm walking around right now. I got knee barred by, if you're listening, Rich Edwards, you're on my hit list. When I say walking around, I'm hopping around. But I'm literally like, "Arr!" And every little injury now, even my fingers, they're all broken, obviously, from training. But they kill.
Yeah.
All the time. And do you have is there an ongoing pain thing going with you, or?
Every now and again you get reoccurring pains and injuries. I've broken both elbows, and one day I'll have my elbow bent, I'll go and reach out to grab something, and then my elbow's locked out and I can't bend it for the next 30 minutes to maybe 2 days. It just depends.
Wow.
So.
Jesus, man. I tell you what, for everyone listening out there, you pussies need to fix right up, because we're going to sign off. But before we sign off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this young man to give you a big kick up the arse speech, something along the lines of, don't sit back in the chair crying your eyes out. Take a quick picture of me and my great-looking visage, and just imagine, be me for a day, then go out and train. This is a first time ever. This is actually a first. I'm going to let the guests say goodbye. Well, I'm saying bye now anyway. But I'm going to let the guests say goodbye now in your own inimitable style. Just the most inspirational or mundane or profound thing you ever want to say. Just say it now.
Well, I'm going to steal the typical quote of no pain, no gain. You just got to get on with it. Thanks, guys.
Oh, do you know what? I have to jump in there. I'm hoping that you got that from Captain Freedom, right? From the Running Man.
Yeah.
Now we're talking. Now this kid's got some style, man. I'll tell you, Jesse the Body Ventura came out of retirement for that. If you haven't seen The Running Man, shame on you. It's a great movie. Get a life. Anyway, congratulations on your award.
Thank you very much.
Keep on inspiring. And I'll tell you something, mate. You really just chatting to you, man. It's been amazing. And I mean that. And I don't get inspired that often. And that's the truth.
Thank you, guys. Just want to say also a big thank you to my instructor Richard Opin down at Ilio Black Belt Academy in Gloucestershire in Cam. But if you want to come on down, we're always there Monday, Tuesday and Thursday.
Today's show was produced by the wizard himself, Ant McGinley. You can listen to all our interviews on mixedmartialarts.com. So, through training, right, you obviously, you've got all the attributes where you learn the speed, the power, the balance and everything. This is just going to lead me into probably the lamest joke I've ever tried on my own show. But has it ever helped you in, like, you know, say, dancing?
Not that I've got any dance talent at all, but it could be beneficial.
Well, you see, the thing is, you're 50% there, because you could be the world's greatest break dancer.
Oh,
boom,
God.
boom! I'll tell you what, that was a slow burner, right? But was that what you...
They're applauding.
Oh, no! I'll tell you what, these martial artists, man, they'll laugh at any shit nowadays. Do you know what? Thanks again, bro. That was awesome. Wow!
Hello, is that Mr. Liam Neeson?
I don't know who you are.
That's alright, my name's Ant, and I bet you can't guess what I want. And if you can't guess, you've got to tell me what you have.
I don't know what you want, but what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
Oh, so do I.
Skills I've acquired over a very long career.
Yes, me too. You see, I make podcasts like this one you're listening to right now. And that's why I'm calling, to say if you ever fancied making one yourself, Mr. Neeson, you could find me on Instagram at Ant McGinley.
I will look for you.
Oh, good.
I will find you.
Well, if not, don't worry, you can always try Twitter. I'm there at AntManLovesYou.
And I will kill you.
Right. Is now not a good time? Shall I just call back later? Oh, I think he's gone. I'll put that one down as a maybe.